Hey guys, Big Anthony here, coming to you from the off-grid vehicle. Those of you that have been following my channel have seen my van in probably literally hundreds of videos. So today, even though it's a hot day, I'm sitting in here. I've got a new phone, so hopefully the mic is picking up on this Apple phone that I have, the new one. Prior to that, I used a Pixel, but I had the little plug-in adapter for the microphone, the wireless mic. I don't have the adapter for the Apple phone. It's coming in today, but I think this phone's been picking up pretty good, even though I have a fan on right here in the van that's running off the solar. I think you could still pick up my voice. I did a few tests to see if it was working, and it seemed like it was. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody, on this Saturday, August 21st, 2021. No particular title to this video, other than I wanted to get some videos out to discuss current events, discuss world affairs, discuss what's going on, get people to speak and comment and dialogue and learn from each other, if you will. And so today's teaching was entitled Sin, Death, Debt, D-E-B-T, Debt, and the Law. It was taken from the book of Matthew 18, chapter 18, 15 through 35. It was a very good message. From Arthur Bailey, from Arthur Bailey Ministries here in the Charlotte area. I'll put the link to the website so you could see it for yourself. You could see it on YouTube. I stream it on YouTube Live, and I watched it that way. And it was good, and it showed me that the amount of forgiveness that the Most High forgives us is what we have to in turn look at and forgive others, and not harbor bitterness and rage and all these things that we could harbor in our hearts of people that have done us wrong. And so very sobering message, very when you look at the parable that Yeshua used in the when he was talking to the disciples, and the amount of forgiveness that he gave the man that went before him was literally, the debt was talents of money, which equals in the millions of dollars. That debt was forgiven. But then when someone came to him to forgive just a smaller debt, a much smaller debt in the thousands of dollars, he grabbed the guy by the throat and would not forgive him. And so it's a sobering reality of what the amount that we've been forgiven, those of us that have come before the throne and have asked for forgiveness through Yeshua. The amount of grace and love and compassion and mercy that he has for us, and then we in turn need to follow his commands, his laws, his rulings, his edicts, his precepts, his decrees. I've talked about it in a lot of recent videos, because I have come to learn by reading scripture and not listening to the doctrines of men, that yes, the Most High gives us grace and mercy, gives us faith as a gift, but he's the lawgiver. He's the creator and sustainer of the universe, the lawgiver, the one who gave the commands to Moses on the mountain, the one who gave the commands of creation to honor the Sabbath as an everlasting ordinance through all generations. But yet we as a country and as a world, for the most part, put that aside and say we don't have to do that, because we listen to the doctrines of men. We listen to the leaven of the Pharisees that permeates through to this day and is continuing to permeate through the church, corrupt people's minds and hearts, and lead them down the path to hell. And so why do I mention this in this video when there's so much going on in the world, so many things we have to prep for and be prepared for? There's economic upheaval, there's food shortages, there's supply line shortages, and there's plenty of channels that talk about the current events or the news sources, jobless claims, economic woes, digital currencies, countries vying for position to be considered as the new source, the new dollar source to replace the dollar. Look at countries like China. But yet we seem to forget that by sticking our noses in here and letting this word permeate our minds, our hearts, and do what it says, can help us in these times. First and foremost, the Most High can give you directions. I did a video recently on talking about Joshua, how the Most High told him, I'm going to fight for you. Just be willing to go out into battle. I'm going to fight for you and win the battles for you. Well, that same Almighty, that same Elohim that spoke to Joshua is speaking to us today. So we want to, obey his commands. Obey his Torah. Okay? I have a lot to say in other videos, and we'll talk about these things, but grace is not against the law, and grace comes through the law, in fact. So you have to read for yourselves, brothers, sisters, or maybe there are those out there that have pushed the word aside and said, I've got too much going on to look into that or to have time to study that. Make the time. You need to make the time, because the biggest reason why this country is in the predicament it's in, this United so-called States of America, is because we've cast aside, for the most part, the Word of God, and we replaced it with nationalism. We replaced it with a religion of following man's doctrines and decrees, or the latest politician, or the latest pastor that comes on the scene. And we're following their doctrines and what they say. Those are doctrines of men that will always lead off a cliff. They'll always lead you off a cliff. The word of the Most High will never leave you over a cliff. It has the power to save you. It has the power to give you the knowledge that you need to know him more intimately. In John chapter 1, it talks about Yeshua being the Word, the actual Word. If he's the Word, don't you think you should know the Word? If he's the Word and you say you follow him, you love him, and you sing to him and you worship him, but yet you don't follow his Word. You cut out parts, you pick and choose, you cherry pick what you want to follow. Our leaders today on both sides of the aisle are, for the most part, evil. They've sold us out. We've seen that. I think we could all come to that consensus that we've seen what they have done, and we see where this is headed. We see this whole medical issue that's been perpetrated over the last year and a half. And we see it now for what it is, an ability to control populations, to get them to go down a certain path, a certain road that who knows where it's going to lead or what ramifications it's going to have. But yet they say it's safe, it's effective, it's going to save you, I care about you, we care about the children. I'll use New York as an example. New Yorkers, the government, the politics in New York voted in 2000, I believe it was 19, for a law that says a mother can terminate her born baby at birth if she so deemed to be killed after birth. And they paraded that around as a victory for some type of sick, twisted rights. And yet, the same people that would kill an infant born alive, let alone in the womb, born alive, are the same people preaching to you and me about we care for the children, we care for you, we care for the elderly. Well, I can tell you this, guys. In a lot of my videos, if you go back, you can go back years in my videos, I've mentioned the word adult abortions that may be coming to the world and to America, and how God will not be mocked. He has a funny way of getting back at those that mock him. And for all those nations that kill their unborn and condone it and now take it to a whole nother level to condone infanticide, maybe this scourge that's upon us, these adult abortions that are happening due to these medical procedures, are one way of the Most High saying, you didn't speak up, you didn't speak out, you didn't go against the grain, go against your governments, your leaders, when they espoused the killing of the unborn, but you went along with it, or you stayed silent because you didn't want to lose your job, you didn't want to be kicked off of Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. You're afraid what your friends might think, your relatives might think. Now we find us in this miry swamp that we're in, and we're looking for the next leader, the next Donald Trump to save us. Well, I can tell you this: Donald Trump's not going to save you. He never was meant to save you. Any president that's ever been elected has been selected, from George Washington all the way up until Joe Biden. Presidents are selected, they are not elected. Remember that. If you remember nothing, remember that. These leaders, presidents, heads of state, prime ministers, whatever they want to call themselves, kings, princes, whatever titles they give themselves, they're working for a system that's working, or that's antagonistic to Yahweh's kingdom. It's antagonistic. It's a fakery. It's a duplicate, a bad duplicate of this system, to try to get you to follow it and to adhere to it and to worship it. And in the end, it's worshiping the beast in his image. And some will debate right now, and they'll talk about, well, is this the mark? Is that the mark? Listen, if you're following the world system right now and you're going along with the program, you've either taken the mark or said you're going to take the mark down the road. Don't say when that mark comes out, I'm not going to take it. You're already part of the system. You're already going downstream with it. And suddenly, all of a sudden, you're going to get an epiphany and change your mind? No. You're being swept away by it. By its alluring falsehoods. It's Babylon. The system is Babylon, and the Bible specifically tells us in Revelation 18 to come out of her, my people. If that means leaving your church, your synagogue, your place of worship, your mosque, and clinging to the Most High in truth, love, faith, with the full understanding that He can save you, not only in this life, but in the life hereafter, to be with Him forevermore, and yet you'll bow down to a system for some earthly pleasures. Well, I can tell you this, guys, I'm not bowing down to it. I'm not giving into it, and I'm not giving up speaking against it. These are the times that we are to come forward even stronger as believers. What's happening with those Christians right now and others in Afghanistan? They're being hunted down, tortured, killed, when the president yesterday said, no, nobody's being killed. Oh, yes, they are. There's word coming out from different groups and different people on the ground there, and yes, they are. You've got a Bible app on your phone, and they find it, you're shot dead. Your wife and daughters are auctioned off. Where's Oprah? Where's the Chew? Where's all these people that were holding Trump's head, his cut off head? Where are all these big, bad athletes in the country that worship China, the system in China? I'm not speaking against all the Chinese people. I'm talking about the system being implemented by governments around the world, the beast system, not the individual people. Think very hard about your life and what you're following and what you're doing. Your worldview, what you believe in, who you're trusting in. Oh, but I'll lose my job if I don't do this, do what they tell me. Listen, I've lived 58 years. I've been blessed immensely. I've worked hard, several jobs, my own companies. The Lord has given me, the Yahweh has given me, the Most High has given me many things, a great family, children, ability to see a grandchild. But yet I have a peace about me that if I was to become jobless, let's say, I'm content living in my van. I'm content with very little. In fact, I'm forcing myself to get used to it more and more, because I know as the system being built becomes stronger and stronger and more entrenched, the more it's going to force me into a box, into a corner. But I'm not defeated. You're not defeated either. We have His word, we have His promise. It sustains us in good times and bad times. It sustained the original early church, the apostles, when they were being persecuted and put to death. And it will sustain us when the same is being done to us here in this country. Because the system they're bringing in is totally 100% antagonistic to the Almighty's kingdom. Nothing resembles the Almighty's kingdom. Nothing comes close to His law, His loving instructions, His salvation through His bane, His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Nothing comes close to that, and nothing is worth it. No fake feast, no fake festival, no fake day of worship that's been changed from the Sabbath to another day. You have to be willing to forsake what the wrong that you have learned. Throw it off like dross. Then be purified, sanctified by His word. You'll feel a sense of freedom, a sense of liberation that transcends all understanding when you realize this. And why do I say all this? Because now is the time that tries men's souls and their hearts. Food shortages, water shortages, rumors of wars, governments going from bad to worse, unlawful edicts, losses of freedom, losses of speech, losses of, so they say, the right to defend yourself. Losses of everything if you don't do what we say. Because I'm the mayor, I'm the president, I'm the leader. You don't do it, you're going to pay the price. The hand of the law will come down upon you. Well, I have news for you. The wrath of the Almighty's coming after you. And it's going to be displayed. And those of you watching this video, if you adhere to this system, or are following this system, or are part of this beast system, you have an opportunity now to change your mind, to repent and turn to the Most High and give up what they're offering you. Don't sell your soul. Turn to the Most High. If you don't, I don't care who you are, president, senator, congressman, secretary of state, Department of Defense head, chief this, chief that. I don't care what your title is. You're nothing. You're a bug to be stepped on when Yeshua comes back. He will speak the word and you will be gone. Tormented. Don't think it's a joke. You may think you're winning now, but in the end, you've already lost. The book of Revelation says the Lion from the tribe of Judah has been victorious. Not will be, has been. He's already won. The Lion from the tribe of Judah is Yeshua HaMashiach. Has been victorious. The play's already been written. The final act has already been written. Hasn't been enacted yet, but it's been written. And it can't be changed. It won't be changed, and it won't falter or give in. So make a choice today whom you shall follow. And be like Joshua. As for me and my house, we will follow the Almighty Yahweh. Stay strong, guys. Stay ready. Keep prepping. Most of all, pray with all kinds of prayers and requests to the Most High. He hears your heart. He knows every hair on your head, even though there's not many. He knows you. You're a fighter for him. You're a warrior for him. Embrace him. Be encouraged. In Yeshua's name, Anthony signing off. Stay ready.